All right, let's talk about a true baseball legend, Carlton Fisk. Now, I bet when you hear that name, one single incredible moment probably flashes into your mind, right? But here's the thing. That famous play, that's just the tip of the iceberg. His real story, well, it's so much more than that.
But let's actually start with that moment. What makes one play unforgettable? I mean, what is it that sears it into our brains forever? Is it the crazy pressure, the sky-high stakes, or just the pure, unscripted drama? Well, for Carlton Fisk, it was definitely all of the above.
So let's set the scene, because you couldn't write a better script. It's the 1975 World Series. You've got the Boston Red Sox versus the Cincinnati Reds, one of the best series of all time. We're in Game 6, bottom of the 12th inning at Fenway Park. You can just imagine. The tension was absolutely off the charts.
And that's where we get to the moment. A play so famous it actually has its own name, the legendary wave. And believe me, this was way more than just a home run. It was one of those moments that just completely transcends sports. It was pure, unscripted drama.
And it was absolutely iconic. Fisk smashes this high fly ball down the left field line. But it's hooking. Is it going to be fair? Is it going to be foul? And in this totally impulsive move, Fisk starts jumping and dancing down the first base line, just waving his arms like a madman, literally trying to will the ball fair. And it works. It clangs right off the foul pole. Game over. Walk-off homer. The Red Sox win, and one of the most famous images in sports history is born right there.
Okay, so that moment was epic, right? No question. But that's what I mean when I say it's just one chapter. The real foundation of Carlton Fisk's career, what really made him a legend, was a kind of toughness and endurance that you just don't see, especially not for a catcher, the guy behind the mask.
Just look at this number, 24. That's how many seasons Carlton Fisk played in the majors. Let that sink in for a second. 24 seasons. That's nearly a quarter of a century playing at the highest level of the game. It's just incredible.
And to really get why that number is so insane, you have to understand what it means to be a catcher. It is, without a doubt, the most punishing position in sports. All that squatting, getting beat up by foul tips, the violent collisions at home plate, it just destroys your body. I mean, the average career for any player is only a few years. For catchers, it's even less. So Fisk playing for 24 seasons, he wasn't just an exception to the rule. He was a total anomaly.
And he wasn't just a legend in one city. Nope, his amazing career was split between two of baseball's classic teams. He started out with the Boston Red Sox, where he had that legendary moment, and then he went on to have a really long, great run with the Chicago White Sox.
But here's where we get to the core of his legacy beyond just being a tough guy. Fisk literally changed the game. He completely redefined what it meant to be a catcher. He took a position that was mostly about defense and turned it into an offensive weapon.
Yeah, he pretty much created the mold for what we now call the dual-threat catcher. See, back then, if your catcher could just call a good game and stop the ball, you were happy. Anything he gave you with the bat was just a cherry on top. Fisk came along and said, no way. He showed everyone you could have a field general back there who could also hit for power right in the heart of your lineup.
And you want proof? How about this number? 376. That's how many home runs he hit in his career. When he hung up his cleats, no catcher in the history of baseball had ever hit more. To get that kind of power from the most physically brutal position on the field, well, it was a total game changer.
So when you start to put all the pieces together, you really see the whole picture, right? You've got the defensive rock, the big bat in the lineup, and that just unbelievable toughness we talked about. But the glue that held it all together? Pure, intense leadership. This guy was the undeniable heart and soul of every team he played for.
So you take that iconic, unforgettable moment, and you add in decades of durability, power, and leadership, well, there's really only one place a career like that can end up. Cooperstown, the Hall of Fame. His journey was the classic story, from a standout rookie to a true immortal of the game. And people saw his greatness right away. He was the Rookie of the Year back in 1972. Then, of course, there's 1975. But he kept that excellence going for years and years, making it to an incredible 11 All-Star games. And then, the final stop, the one he absolutely earned, was his induction into the Hall of Fame in 2000. That's when his legacy was officially set in stone. So, that brings us right back to where we started. Carlton Fisk gave us one of the most electric, unforgettable moments in all of sports. But his true greatness, the legacy that really matters,
That wasn't built in one night. It was built over 24 seasons of pure grit, power, and leadership. So it kind of makes you wonder, right? How do you really measure a legend? Is it that one spectacular flash of lightning in a bottle, or is it the steady, relentless fire of a whole career of excellence? The cool thing about Carlton Fisk is we don't have to choose. We got both.